we're going to put it back in place. Well, what do you know, it's going to fit this one just like it did that one over there. That's good. So I'm going to anchor one end of it, and then I'll pull on the other side. I'll pull this just a little on this side over here, just a little more than I would, because I'm going to really pull on the other side, so I don't want it to be lopsided. Now I want to check and make sure that that's still in the center, and it is. So I've got it good and tight. Now I'm going to tack it on the other end. And these are just temporary that I'm putting in. And when I start cutting on the ends over here to lay back, I'll give you a different angle so you can see how it is, how I cut it. Now I'm going to turn this back. Now I like to make that fold just even with the top of the candle. I'm going to go all the way around like that. Okay, I got it beat all the way around, and we're going to come in here. Now the end of the candle is about right there, and I'm going to come back about an inch right there, and I'm going to put a big old tack. Now this tack will stay, it's not temporary. The reason I didn't come on to the end is that I want this end a little bit loose so I can adjust it. Now I'm going to pull that. Okay, the reason I wanted that to be a little bit loose right here in that last 1 inch is that I come in here and right at the base of the candle where it touches the bars, I cut that piece of strap right there. I got a hold of it with I put a nail in it. I got a hold of it with the pliers, and I pulled it up so that it's up against the candle all the way. And if you'll notice, I've got a little bit of cup here that I'm going to have to work on. I'll have to get that straightened out, but that won't be no big deal. Probably just need to hit it with a hammer a little bit, maybe. Yeah. So I wanted that leather to stay against the candle all the way down to the end of the candle. So now we've got it nailed down. That's just temporary. And what I'm going to do, got what we call a stiffener, and it's just a piece of leather that comes over here and about an inch over onto the tree. And what it does, it just connects the candle to the cover, and it also helps make the candle shine roll a little stiffer. So we're going to let that go right there for a minute. One thing, we need to keep this roll neat across here, smooth. So when we put that other piece of leather up there, the stiffener, it will make a smooth transition around and won't make a knot right there. This is what I was talking about, the stiffeners. They're cut in a kind of a half moon shape, so they will lay around the curve. If you just try to use a straight one, then you got a lot of pleats that you've got to get rid of. But this will lay down and curve around the candle. These will, you want to skive this area, go back about 1.5 inches, and then feather it out from there. Sometimes I'll have to skive the whole thing because I may not have the thickness of the leather that I want, but these are worked out okay. So skive that down to a feather edge. That way you won't have to do very much skiving on when you get it on. So I'm going to glue these. I want to glue the candle back and the candle, and after I get them glued, we'll put them on. As I was saying, I want to put glue on here. I'll make sure that I get plenty come down on the candle far enough that I won't run out of glue when I go to put the stiffener on. I usually put 2 coats of glue. I let this one dry real good, and then I come back and put another one on. And for one thing, it connects better, and it'll make the candle a little bit stiffer. We're going to cover a horn. It's a number 1 horn with a 2-inch cap. These are the 3 pieces that we'll use to cover and wrap a horn. The underside, which would be this, I don't really have a pattern for it, but it's approximately 4.5 to 5 inches. I come in here about 2 inches and cut out the width, a piece about the width of your finger. And I will show you a little bit more later about how this fits on the horn. This being what I call a stiffener, it's a little heavier leather, a little stiffer leather than the other 2. Its purpose is to stabilize the wrap on the horn so it doesn't slip around. We will put 4 tacks in the top of this. This will go on the underside, this will go immediately on the top, and we will tack it down and stabilize it so that you can't move the wrap around once it gets finished on there. There is 2 cuts. This is cut right up into here, and this will kind of pinch up like that and go in this area right here, and then this will be sewn together right there. This will fit right down in that, and it'll be sewn together there. The way we determine the width right here is we measure about halfway down this post the thickness right there, and that's how we end up with that measurement here. And then here we shrink this distance across here. We shrink that just a little bit. So when this is put down in that, then it will be tight, and we won't have any holes, or you can't. It'll all look smooth and won't have any holes in it. So that's just a little bit of something that you need to know, because sometimes if that doesn't fit in there, then you will end up with what we call a mouse hole in there. So, all right, we'll proceed to cover the horn. This is the horn that we're going to wrap. It is called a number 1 horn with a 2-inch cap, 2 inches bend from here to over here. There is a standard that nearly all the tree companies follow. They the name of their horns, they go by numbers, and pretty much exactly the same thing. If you order from a number 1 horn from one company and order it from another company, it'll be the same thing. This is the horn that we use on all of our reiners, our pleasure saddles, we've even made some trail saddles on it, with it. It's just a pretty good all-around horn. If you're going to do roping, you need a little heavier post here and a bigger cap. But this is a pretty much all-around horn. I do more of these than anything else. So we're going to get started. I'm going to show you the underside and what I was talking about, the underside cover, and it will come down, and I'm going to turn around and show you where that's going to be. This is an underside cover that has been already molded, and I've just got this turned back up to where you can see under here and where it comes down, and it comes down about halfway of the post on the horn. Now when that wrap comes around on each side, it will cover this and not leave a little rat hole there. We don't like rat holes. This is the underside cover, and it is wet, and we're going to pull it around, and we'll pinch it up right there, and then we'll fold this over and kind of mold it. And I do this pretty much close to when I start working on the ground seat, and then I take it off, set it aside on my bench and let it dry, and then it's like this. And when we get ready to cover the horn, then I cover this, cover the horn, cover this, and the other 2 pieces with glue, and then we get started wrapping it. Okay, I believe our glue is dry. It's tacky, and that's what we want. Got this glued, got it wet on the bottom side. It's a little bit more pliable now, but it does have the shape that we want. So to put it on, if I just go this way, it may stick and not in the right place that I want it. So what I do, I kind of roll this back like that, and then use this indention right in here as guide, and I put that right up at the nose of the horn. That's where it was shaped before, and then just start pressing in at the bottom and bringing it around, and try to get these to come together right in the center of the horn, like that. That's close. I'm going to use some pliers to pinch that together, and I'll need a little bit of this off. I got started using laser pliers years and years ago. I don't know, I've found them and somebody else was using them, and so I just never did go to a horn pliers, but horn pliers or this will work. And what I'm going to do is press the nose of the pliers against the horn and squeeze that together right on up as far as I can go. Then I'm going to get my hammer and I want this rollover right even with the top of the horn, so when I put my cap on, it'll all be flush. So I'm going to have to pull that down a little bit to get it to go where it needs to go, and I'm going to tap this all the way around. I'm